He's one of the top players out there now.
He's in the game, like he's very, very engaged and very focused.
He wants to be really good, and he tries very hard, and it shows.
The guy wants to win, and I can see how important every hand is to him.
He's the combination of very smart and very hardworking, and it's hard to beat that.
He's a freak of nature.
Outgoing, big-hearted, nice guy.
I love Jason, he's incredible.
Yeah, well, he's a piece of shit. No. It's gonna be a crazy week. It's almost enough. Figure out the rest when we get up there. Don't have big enough hands. What are you doing today, Joey?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Feel good. Ready? Ready to do work. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Feel pretty good. Thanks, bro.
This is the 100K line?
Yeah.
You, Bryn, Fish.
Yeah. It's pretty cool being in line. A lot of these guys are jumping in the 100K as well. So we're just roll up with 111,000 any way you can bring it, chips, cash, wire, whatever, and you can somehow get them to take it. Like I have different casinos chips and cash and all kinds of different stuff. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 111,000, 100, and I owe you $11, I believe.
Good luck to you.
Showtime. Thank you. Take care, Linda. All right, let's go play a tournament.
So this tournament that Jason's playing today, it's called the One Drop High Roller. And it's the highest buy-in tournament at the entire World Series of Poker this year. The cool thing about this event is that it gets out all the big names in poker. Guys like Phil Ivey, Antonio Esfandiari, Phil Hellmuth, all the big guys are playing this thing. And some of the other guys in the field, you know, they might not be poker pros, but they're all geniuses. We're talking about some of the brightest minds from business and finance. I mean, we've got actual billionaires playing in this tournament.
135 players, $14 million prize pool, and the winner's gonna walk away with almost $4 million. It's just an incredibly prestigious, high-stakes event.
Well, I started my first table pretty standard. I was chipping up a little bit, then I flopped a set, ended up check calling whenever the flush draw got there and a guy had a flush. I lost a small pot, but I just won one and I'm slightly over what we started with. So neutral start, but the tournament will move quickly, tables will break, so I'm just gonna embrace the structure of the tournament, play as well as I can, and hope for the best.
On the second last level of the night, Jason got into a big hand where he flopped second pair with a weak kicker. He had to make a big hero call for almost all his chips. His opponent was bluffing with a busted straight draw, and that put Jason up to around 1 million chips. He was on track to finish the day really strong.
1 p.m. restart tomorrow? Who was high, Tim?
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun. I'm pretty agitated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to 1 million chips making a hero call, and then they just give us a 4K ante, 24K big blind, $111,000 buy-in. I didn't even play one significant pot. I mean, 20 big blinds in the last levels, 500,000 chips, you know? But it's kind of frustrating to fold half your stack away. So now I'm stuck with, I don't know what I have, under 500,000. So I'm going to be in like reshove mode tomorrow at 15K, 30K. Everything's independent, and this is where I'm at right now. This is the only thing I need to think about. So right now I'm just thinking about getting a good night's rest and coming back here and trying to win this tournament.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Good luck, bro.
All right, buddy. See what I can do, yeah. Yeah, this is Stevie. He's my boy from West Virginia.
How's it going? It's pretty funny, the coincidences between the two of us.
Exactly.
We're the same age. We grew up Interstate 79, kind of bisects. This runs right through the middle of the state of West Virginia. And we're from like an hour and a half away from each other.
Yeah, we're both at the end of the day rednecks from West Virginia. We like to fish and cook out.
Good old simple kind of men.
Yeah.
Good old boys from West Virginia who share love for the Pokes.
Today is a special day, obviously. It's not very often you get to play a hyper turbo for $4 million. Obviously going to be a little bummed if I go in and get got, but I also have a smile on my face.
You know, Jason likes to downplay how important these things are, but I guarantee you, whenever you're playing for 6 figures, it's a big deal. Jason came into today short stacked, and he knew he had to make a move. Unfortunately, he got all in, he couldn't get lucky, now he's out. He said he'd have a smile on his face, win or lose, but we just watched him lose over $100,000, and that's gotta hurt, especially with the cameras rolling. We're starting to really see how much this means to him.
I had a shove that was profitable, I took it, I got called by a better hand, and I'm out. I'm just gonna take the rest of the day off. Good? Cool.
Originally from West Virginia, just from a very small town called Weston. It's known for a really old crazy house. That's the town I'm from. Was an athlete my entire life, outdoorsy kind of guy, just was always outside. Realized pretty young I was fast, and I ended up going to college for track and field.
First met him when he was just a kid, and I found out later after I'd known him a while that, you know, he was from, you know, a pretty rough background. So I don't know how to describe it other than he just felt like he was one of my kids, you know?
Man, he's been making a name for himself ever since he was a little kid. I mean, he's a fierce competitor, like I said. You know, he's resilient, you know, and you talk about somebody that knows how to step over those brick walls and overcome adversity.
2 years into my track career, which was all I cared about, and ended up getting hurt. And when that happened, one of my teammates asked me if I would want to play poker, hang out, and didn't like to lose, and I thought that those guys were really bad from what I could tell, so I learned a lot about the game, and very quickly started to be called a cheater and banned from all the games, and the local Elks and the Moose clubs banned me from all the games, and everyone just thought I was cheating. And so I took my few $100 that I'd made, or maybe at this point I'd made 1,000 or something, and put it online and got beat up by guys that were better than me, and I didn't like that. So got good enough to the point where they started calling me a cheater.
Jason really is one of these guys that started right at the bottom and worked his way all the way to the top levels of the poker world. He's won over $3.5 million playing live poker tournaments, a ton more online, and he's played in some of the biggest cash games anywhere. And he's not just a successful poker player, he's also one of the most well-liked in the entire poker community.
Jason Koon is one of my friends, and there's not many people in the poker world I would actually say is a genuine friend. He is a teddy bear, just locked inside of a bodybuilder's building.
When I hear the name Jason Koon, I think gentleman. He's a guy's guy. He's one of the most fun guys on the tournament scene.
I really got to know him when I moved to Vancouver, and he ended up moving to Vancouver to play online. And we became really good friends pretty quickly. Still one of my best friends in poker. I started, at the micros. The kid that I lived with, whose name is Negreanu, he started teaching me at an early age. He had won a free roll tournament for $10 and ran his full tilt account to over $1 million without ever depositing a cent, without ever being backed or selling a piece of action to anyone.
Today's the day, man.
Yeah, how you feeling, man?
I don't usually get like pumped for tournaments. I'm like out of my mind, Jack.
5X the biggest buy you've ever played, right?
Well, I rebought in 100K before, so I don't know if that really counts.
Yeah.
Come on!
Damn, it's up there. I met Jason way back when. I want to say it was 2006 at an online poker table. I just started playing before he did, you know? So I was sort of figuring out like the first basic things about poker before a lot of people, before him. And so I was able to show him a few basic things, you know? And after the course of like a year, year and a half, 2 years maybe, you know, he kept like improving to the point where like I didn't have anything like left to like teach him, you know? Yeah, now it's much the opposite, where he knows so much more about the game, and he's always pointing things out to me and teaching me things. And then as this 500K tournament was approaching this week, I was kind of keeping an eye on him, seeing how he would, react. It's the biggest tournament he's played by a magnitude of 5. And he was pretty calm the whole time up until it. But then last night, after he bought in and had his receipt, he brought his receipt home. He was just a little bit. He was just amped, He was a little bit nervous and just anxious to get in there. So he was jumping around, bouncing around the house a little bit. And so I was like, okay, cool. It's good to see that you still feel a little bit of those nerves. You know what I mean? Like you haven't quite seen it all. So that was cool to see, and I mean rightfully so. It's a massive poker tournament.
Yeah,
do you want to play?
Hey, boss.
Boss, do you want to
Boss, you want to play? Do you? Huh?
Get over here. Yeah.
Well, that's what 500K gets you. A little piece of paper and a dream. So, here we go.
It's a 500K buy-in tournament. We're playing with some of the best players in the world and also some businessmen. And right now we have 38 sign-ups. The first place is going to be, a lot of money. And this is what we live for, events like this.
You watch the NBA because it's the best basketball players in the world. You watch the NHL because it's the best hockey players in the world. You're going to watch this because you're going to see a collection of the best poker players in the world, and you're going to learn a thing or two.
When you put up $500,000 knowing that 85% of the time you're going to get no return on your money, it's worth that feeling, that rush.
So I know it sounds crazy that all these people put down $500,000 to buy in, but the truth is there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that makes it all possible. A lot of these pros buy and sell action from each other. Some people have backers that help them get into the tournaments. Some people do swaps with other people that are actually playing in the event. And a lot of these guys will actually only really be playing for 10, 20, 30% of their own action. Table draw, not so great.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to expect? It's 500K buy-in. Ready to do my thing. Played a ton with everyone there. I got to go to work, so I won't be too chatty in between now and the end of the day, but when we get through, we'll have a talk.
All right, good luck, man.
All right, man.
So Jason started the day really strong, but he had a super tough table. By the end of the day, he was pretty short. Second last hand of the night, Jason gets all in, pre-flop on a coin flip. 50% of the time, he's out of the tournament. But he managed to double up, so he's coming back tomorrow. His stack still isn't huge, but you know what? This is no limit hold'em. Anything can happen.
That's the thing, man. All these tournaments, I've ended day one with 3x chip lead and bricked out, and it can always be the other way too. I mean, if I come back tomorrow and double one time, I have 1,000,000 chips.
I think no matter how much time you spend playing high stakes, it's always special when you get together all of the best players in the world to play the highest stakes tournament in the world. And that's what you have here. This is a truly one-of-a-kind tournament.
It's definitely exciting to have this much money at stake in a poker tournament. I always find tournaments like this bring out the best in me.
I mean, it's important just to be able to play your game and play your best and not be worried about the money.
Don't expect that many good seats in this tournament. Brian Rass to my left and Tom McDonald on his left, two great players. But there's not really a good seat in the house at this point. We signed up to play 500K buy-in, and this is what you get. I actually got 8 hours sleep, so I feel great. Stack isn't where we want it to be yet, but like I said, anything goes in these things. Definitely have plenty of room to maneuver and plenty of time, so very optimistic about today. Girl got in town that cheered me up.
So Jason and I actually went to college together, West Virginia Wesleyan. He was a bit older than I was. He was a senior, I was a freshman. And we were on the same track team, so we ran track together. So yeah, I've known him since 2007. Playing high stakes like this, it's not just like your typical tournament of the World Series. This is huge, so I know he's done a lot of preparation, and yeah, he's hanging in there. So I don't think it really makes me nervous, but I think, I just want him to do well.
$407,000. Went all in.
Brandon Stephen called with the ace and the queen of diamonds.
All right, we're flipping.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah, got the 7-5-3 rainbow board and was like, cool, gonna be in position, but lost a very standard coin flip when the queen of clubs rolled off on the turn. I have to say, that one hurt as bad as any. I was just almost nauseous. And, you know, you shake hands with everybody, you smile, and you do honestly wish the best for everybody. All these guys in that tournament are just great people, and it's not like the stars are aligned to make sure that I get to win that poker tournament. You know, they're all good guys, they're all great poker players. It hurt me pretty bad. I had to sit down for a while and take a couple deep breaths, and it's one of those ones I won't forget, but you gotta get back on the horse, and you gotta get back to living your life and being happy and have a lot of gratitude for everything that I do have. I have a wonderful girlfriend, great friends, unbelievable opportunity, you know. I'm a country kid from West Virginia, man, and I get to play the biggest stakes in the world. I get to hang out with the coolest people in the world. I get to play a game that I truly love.
Yesterday he's in a $500,000 tournament, and today he takes us out here at night to race these go-karts.
I think they cranked his speed up a little bit.
They're like, this guy.
The speed drive. I think poker's just a vessel for Jason, you know, to get him where he's going. You know, he's always done great things, whether it be bass fishing back home in West Virginia or racing go-karts here. And I mean, he's a competitor, and I feel like poker's just something that's going to get him where he's going.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia.